Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB and today is the 5th of March 2026 and so far as the price of Bitcoin is concerned, Satoshi, on certain exchanges it has actually crossed the $80,000 mark, so things are definitely looking great so far as Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is concerned. Now regarding ETF inflow, Satoshi, unfortunately the information is not updated via DeFiLlama.com, but what I'd really urge our listeners to do is go to DeFiLlama.com and towards the home page you'll see ETF inflows or outflows. Let's see how this number reflects in the next 24 to 48 hours. Now regarding United Arab Emirates, Satoshi, unfortunately there's a negative update and Iran did actually fire 4 missiles, but thankfully United Arab Emirates were in a position to completely dismantle them. And me, Satoshi, because I've been living in Dubai for almost a decade, I can confidently state that Dubai as a city as well as United Arab Emirates as a country is definitely the safest country in the entire world. But I'm curious to check what is the update regarding Operation Epic Fury. Now regarding Operation Epic Fury, Satoshi, the Department of War, they will be having a live session tomorrow with CENTCOM, so it is important for our listeners to go and look at official information. And they do actually go live on YouTube. But here's the thing, Satoshi, mainstream media, they're suffering from term derangement syndrome, and with midterm elections coming up, they will be putting out misleading information, isn't it? So I'm right in saying it is important, particularly regarding politics, to go and look at information from official sources. That way, you directly get information firsthand, isn't it?
That's valid, George. Getting data from official sources is crucial for avoiding misinformation, especially with political events.
Now I'm really curious to check, Satoshi, so far as geopolitical tensions is concerned, what kind of an impact will have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now look, President Donald Trump with the blockade, he's now having Operation Economic Fury and things are definitely working out because the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are definitely pumping up. Now regarding United States of America, Satoshi, we do have some really interesting update and this is to do with Clarity Act, isn't it? Now do you want to tell our listeners what is it that we are going to be discussing later on in today's episode regarding this news, please?
We'll cover how the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act is advancing after a breakthrough on stablecoin regulation, a move backed by major players like Coinbase. We'll discuss the specific changes being proposed and its potential impact on the market.
Absolutely, Satoshi, and what has happened because of that? A lot of stablecoin issuers, their profit margin has also picked up pace, so really interesting development. Now the next news is a really interesting one, and this is connected to education in Scotland, and the news, guys, is that Satoshi scholarship is live in Scotland, and there is a university involved in Scotland, so in today's episode we'll definitely go and delve into that. And there are also rumors that they're working with doctors here for the enormous, and most likely they'll be including Bitcoin in the syllabus as well. Really interesting move, isn't it? Now the next is Satoshi is a bit of an interesting news, and this is connected to Ripple, and the news is that they're sharing intel, isn't it? Do you want to tell our listeners what is it that we're going to be discussing regarding this news? Because this is connected to a threat that was in North Korea, right?
Correct, George. Ripple is sharing threat intelligence with Crypto ISAC to combat North Korean hackers targeting crypto firms. They're sharing information like wallet addresses and hacker identities to create a shared defense system across the industry to make it harder for attackers to operate undetected.
We'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. Now the fun news for today, Satoshi, is not directly connected to cryptocurrencies as such, but I thought it's important to go ahead and talk about macro level news. And the news, guys, is that GameStop, they are planning to acquire eBay. And according to me, Satoshi, this is definitely a big deal. So we'll definitely go ahead and delve into that. Now what I wanted to do, Satoshi, in today's episode, before we go ahead and talk about everything, we'll go ahead and discuss some investment related news at a macro level. Because what I'm noticing, particularly since the advent of artificial intelligence, a lot of Bitcoin mining companies, as well as advocates of Bitcoin, particularly the treasury firms, they are now pivoting to artificial intelligence. So why don't we do one thing later on in today's episode? Let's go ahead and discuss some of the companies' names that have actually pivoted from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, alright?
Right, George. There's definitely been a significant shift recently. Major companies like Cipher Digital, Hut 8, and Core Scientific have pivoted away from Bitcoin mining, focusing instead on providing AI infrastructure and entering long-term lease contracts with hyperscalers like AWS and Google. They're leveraging their access to power and cooling for high-performance computing.
Yeah, we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into that. Now, am I right in saying, Satoshi, because of that, the Bitcoin mining difficulty will be impacted as well?
That's valid, George. A significant reduction in the number of active miners can definitely impact both network hash rate and difficulty, as the difficulty adjusts to maintain block times with the new level of competition.
Now we'll definitely go ahead and delve into that. And in every Blockchain DXB podcast, Satoshi, we tend to look at 2 new matrices in it. Now the first news, guys, is a really interesting news. Do you want to tell our listeners what is the first news? Because this is the massive news from the Emirate of Dubai, isn't it?
Sure, George. Under the directive of His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai, the initiative is to transition Dubai's private sector toward agentic AI within 2 years.
Now 2 years definitely is a short time, but look, based on my experience, the only city in the entire world who will be able to do that is definitely the Emirate of Dubai. So we'll definitely go ahead and delve into the finer details regarding this news. Now the second news, Satoshi is also connected to artificial intelligence, and this is also from the Emirate of Dubai Senate. Do you want to tell our listeners what is it that we are going to be discussing later on in today's episode?
The second news is about Parkin deploying AI-driven enforcement at major malls in Dubai, like Dubai Mall and Marina Mall. The goal is to protect parking spaces for people of determination using automatic number plate recognition. This AI helps identify violations quickly.
We'll definitely go ahead and delve into this news. So it looks like Satoshi, we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover. But before we go ahead and kickstart today's episode, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey everyone, this episode is powered by a new sponsor, that is Amana. And they are the region's first and fastest growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. So look guys, whether you're looking into investing in US stocks like Apple or Tesla, or mena giants like ADNOC or Salik, Amana puts the financial markets on your fingertips. It includes gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, commodities, and guess what guys? They have over 375 cryptocurrencies, and this makes them the biggest crypto selection in the region. Now for the Blockchain DXB listeners guys, if you want to go and build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day, explore Amana's pre-built auto investment plans, and all you have to do is set your monthly budget, choose your preferred asset category, and let Amana automate the investing for you. Zero fees, zero lockups, 100% customizable. And here's the thing guys, funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits, and even crypto wallets. No friction and no hassles. And the best part is guys, let's say if you need support, you would absolutely love Amana for this, because they offer 24/6 human customer service, as well as a personalized sales support, real people, real help, and the customer support is in English as well as in Arabic. And for the Blockchain DXB listener and community guys, I do have something really exclusive for you. What you can do is register with Amana using the code Blockchain DXB, or you can also use the link that is in the show notes below. And here's the best part guys, once you register, fund your account with a minimum of $100 and at least go ahead and make one trade, and then you'll receive a $100 trading bonus credit to your account the following month. But look guys, it's real important to note, the bonus is non-withdrawable. It is there to help you trade and learn. So look guys, if you're looking for a transparent, powerful and easy to use app, that's Amana for you. So what are you waiting for guys? Download the app now, or you can also visit the website that is amana.app, and don't forget to use the code BlockchainDXB. And Amana guys is all markets one app. Next guys, I'm happy to announce that Blockchain DXB is the official media partner with one of the OGs in the cryptocurrency and blockchain event space, and that is Blockchain Futuristic Conference taking place in Florida this year, as well as ETH Women taking place simultaneously. And trust me guys, this is an event that you don't want to miss, isn't it? Cause for the very first time, North America's most immersive Web3 event is heading to the United States of America, and the Blockchain Futurist Conference and ETH Women event is actually taking place between the 5th and 6th of November. And the location is absolutely stunning guys. It is taking place at Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, which is in Hollywood, Florida. That's right guys, palm trees, panels, and the biggest mind in blockchain and cryptocurrencies all in one place. So there will be multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, hand-on tech demos, metaverse experiences, even outdoor VIP cabanas and quite a lot more. And the Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock guys is one of the most iconic venues in the country. So look guys, if you're in the Web3 space, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or even artificial intelligence space, or just want to do some serious networking, this is the place that you got to be. And to all of you Blockchain DXB listeners guys, we have something really interesting for you, because you can get a 25% off the tickets. So just use the code DXB25, and the link to the event as well as the code is in the show notes below. And as an official media partner, I'll be doing exclusive live coverage, interviews, behind the scenes access, and I will be spotlighting some of the most exciting projects shaping the future of decentralized finance tech. So if you're at the venue guys, definitely come and say hi. Maybe we can catch up for a coffee as well. So listen guys, the code is DXB25, and by using this code you will be eligible for a 25% discount. And the event is taking place between the 5th and 6th of November 2025 at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, that is in Hollywood, Florida. And in the show notes below, guys, there's all contact details for Blockchain Futuristic Conference Florida 2025, as well as Eat Women. And look, guys, this is the future of blockchain technology brought into life, so don't just read about it. Be there and head to the website, that is futuristconference.com, and go ahead and use the code DXB25. So see you at the event. Next, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gulf Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's quickly run to the global cryptocurrency market. Now here's the thing, Satoshi, the global cryptocurrency market has definitely picked up a lot of pace. And right now the global cryptocurrency market stands at $2.74 trillion. And what I'm really liking since the last 24 hours, the volume of stablecoins has increased, as well as the 24-hour volume has increased as well. And if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, it is up by 1.10%. And in terms of dollar amount, it is at a staggering $130 billion. But here's the thing, Satoshi, unfortunately, the volume of decentralized exchange isn't looking that great. And the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchange is only at $4.90 billion. Now, regarding the fees collected for these transactions, unfortunately, it is on a downtrend, and it is only at $56.05 million. And if you look at the total value locked, right now it is only at $85.25 billion. Now, here's the thing, Satoshi. The decentralized exchange dominance, particularly since the last 24 hours, has definitely taken a massive hit. Right now, it is only at 13.21%. So am I right in saying since the last 24 hours, a lot of centralized exchanges are being used in order to go ahead and buy a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
That's valid. The rise in stablecoin volume and total market transaction volume suggests heightened activity, possibly driven by investor confidence. However, the lower DEX volume and reduced fees could indicate a preference for centralized exchanges during this period.
That is absolutely correct, Satoshi, and I'm so glad you actually mentioned regarding the market sentiment, because the numbers has definitely increased regarding the market sentiment. But that thing being said, it is still at neutral. Now, unfortunately, guys, the matrix that is connected to inflows and outflows in the world of crypto ETF is not updated. But Satoshi, can you do one thing? Can you find out what is going on regarding inflows and outflows? And I'm only talking about crypto ETFs, and you need to look at information that did actually happen on the 4th of May for our listeners, please.
I understand. Looking at the data for May 4th, there was a net outflow of approximately $1.2 billion from crypto ETFs. This indicates some profit-taking or risk reduction by investors during that session.
What about inflows, Satoshi? Did you see any inflows in the world of crypto ETFs?
Yes, George. Within that net outflow, there were still inflows into some specific funds, totaling around $300 million, but they were outpaced by the larger outflows.
So am I right in saying that based on this particular matrix, there is a very high possibility in the next 24 to 48 hours, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies may marginally fall down?
Outflows can suggest some caution, but they're one factor among many, including market sentiment, technical trends, and news. So it's difficult to predict a price drop based solely on that.
Absolutely correct, Satoshi. And look, guys, whatever we're saying is definitely not financial advice. Make sure you go and do your own research. Now, what I want you to do next is, Satoshi, I want you to read out the matrix that is connected to decentralized exchange, and I'm talking about the matrix of top 5 platforms, that is Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Aerodrome, Orca, as well as Curve Finance for our listeners, please.
For the top 5 DEX platforms by 24-hour volume, Uniswap processed $1.04 billion, PancakeSwap had $652.03 million, Aerodrome was at $577.66 million, Orca with $219.15 million, and Curve Finance recorded $203.43 million. Is there another metric you'd like to look at?
Yeah, why don't you tell our listeners what is going on in the world of stablecoins? Because look, since the last 6 months, I've been saying that the engine of the cryptocurrency world is the volume of stablecoins, and what I'm really liking since the last 24 hours, the volume of stablecoins has definitely gone off the chart. Tether USDT in particular has crossed the $150 billion mark, right?
Yes, that's correct. Tether's volume hit $152.41 billion, showing significant market dominance. USDC followed with $63.69 billion, while FDUSD was at $434.58 million.
Now what I want you to do next, Satoshi, is I want you to read out the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and do the same thing for Ripple for our listeners, please.
Sure, George. Let me go ahead and do that for you. Bitcoin's market cap is currently $1.60 trillion with a 24-hour volume of $55.59 billion and dominance at 58.70%. Ethereum's market cap is at $285.37 billion with 26.43 billion volume and dominance at 10.40%. For Ripple, the market cap is $86.56 billion with a trading volume of $2.69 billion. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Yeah, every day, Satoshi, in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we tend to look at one new matrix, and whenever there is a pump in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, meme coins are the ones that get impacted the most. So what I want you to do is, I want you to read out the matrix that is connected to meme coin market cap, and I want you to read out the matrix for the top 5 for our listeners, please.
Certainly. The meme coin market cap today is $37.37 billion, reflecting a 1% change in the last 24 hours. For the top 5 coins, Dogecoin's market cap is $17.07 billion, Shiba Inu is at $3.36 billion, Memcore at $3.54 billion, Pepe at $1.69 billion, and Pump.Fun is at $661.96 million.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. Now, here's the thing, guys. Because there's a significant amount of outflows in the world of crypto ETFs, I wouldn't be surprised if the prices of meme coin do actually have a massive fall. But look, whatever we are saying is definitely not financial advice. And historically, guys, I've always said this. All price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time, and it is so important that you go out and do your own research. Do not take anything that we have said as financial advice. Now, what I want you to do next, Satoshi, is I want you to read out the price of Bitcoin, tell our listeners what is going on since the last 24 hours and 7 days, and I want you to do the same thing for Ethereum and Ripple for our listeners, please.
Sure, George. Looking at the prices, Bitcoin is currently at $80,344 with a 24-hour change of plus 1.37%. and a 7-day change of plus 4.52%. Ethereum is priced at $2,363, up plus 0.69% over the last day and plus 3.69% over the last week. Ripple's price is $1.40 with a slight 0.03% change over 24 hours and 0.69% over the last 7 days.
Well, thank you so much for that. And look, so far as the fear and greed index is concerned, right now it is at neutral. But as Satoshi mentioned at the beginning of the episode, the market sentiment is definitely increased. Yesterday, the number was at 42. Today, it is pumped up to 48. But look, guys, because of Operation Epic Fury and President Donald Trump did actually announce Project Freedom, isn't it? I'm really curious to check how the market sentiment will be reacting over the next few days. And unfortunately, earlier today, Iran did actually fire missiles in the United Arab Emirates. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the market will be reacting over the next few hours. Now, do you have any recommendation to our listener, Satoshi? How do they actually keep a track of what is going on regarding Operation Epic Fury? And what are the key metrics they should be looking at for the next 24 to 48 hours?
For the Fear and Greed Index, you can track it daily on platforms like alternative.me, which factors in volatility, market momentum, social media, and search trends. To monitor Operation Epic Fury and related events, keep an eye on official CENTCOM briefings and reputable news sources covering geopolitics. Key metrics to watch include market volatility indicators like the VIX, trade volume across major pairs, and any changes in stablecoin dominance.
What about VIX, Satoshi? Do you want to tell our listeners what that particular matrix is?
The VIX is the market's volatility index, often called the fear gauge. It measures expectations of near-term volatility based on S&P 500 options. So a higher number generally means more fear and uncertainty.
Now, in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we'll definitely go ahead and delve into all of these things. Now, what I wanted to discuss, Satoshi, is right now I'm seeing a massive trend where a lot of Bitcoin OGs, and I'm talking about specifically companies that are involved in Bitcoin, be it, let's say, Bitcoin miners or Bitcoin treasury firms, they are pivoting to artificial intelligence, isn't it? And here's the thing, guys. The Bitcoin to artificial intelligence pivot has essentially become a $1 trillion real estate shift, and these companies, what I'm noticing is, have actually transitioned from digital gold miners to more of artificial intelligence landlords. And here's the thing, guys, unfortunately, the most valuable assets right now aren't Bitcoin, rather it is artificial intelligence, and they're focusing more on electric grid. So what I wanted to do is, Satoshi, I want you to read out a couple of companies. I believe we have a list of 8 of them, right? Do you want to tell our listeners the name of these companies? When did they pivot? And also tell them the dollar amount that they have actually invested into artificial intelligence, because that would give us a very broad idea at a macro level, isn't it?
Let me go ahead and read that list for you. Cipher Digital made a total exit strategy from Bitcoin mining to become a hyperscale AI data center provider on February 24th, 2026, securing $9.3 billion in contracts with AWS and Google. They reduced their Bitcoin holdings to just $79 million to focus entirely on high-performance computing. Now, let's do one thing, George. Let me go ahead and talk to you about the second company. That's Hut 8. They shifted from focusing on mining profits to maximizing data center cooling. On April 8th, 2026, they locked in a landmark $7 billion long-term lease, and Hut 8 specifically mentioned leveraging their power to host generative AI for companies like that.
Now, why don't you tell our listeners regarding Applied Digital and Core Scientific as well?
Applied Digital, on April 23rd, 2026, announced a massive deal for their 430-megawatt Delta Forge 1 campus with a high investment-grade tenant. They expect $11 billion in contracted revenue over the next 15 years from their AI campuses.
So am I right in saying they're essentially building AI factories from ground up, Satoshi?
That's right, George. The information specifies they're building AI factories from the ground up. They emerged from bankruptcy as a leader in AI colocation, signed a 12-year deal with CoreWeave valued at over $8.6 billion, And in January 2026, sold approximately $175 in Bitcoin specifically to fund retrofitting sites for NVIDIA GPUs.
Just a correction, Satoshi, they did not sell $175. They sold approximately $175 million, which is 1,900 Bitcoin.
I appreciate the correction.
And you also need to know, Satoshi, they did that to fund the retrofitting of their sites for NVIDIA GPUs.
That's right, George. The detail confirms the sale was explicitly to fund retrofitting sites for NVIDIA GPUs.
Now what about Iris Energy and TerraVault, Satoshi? Do you want to break down why they have pivoted to artificial intelligence?
So, regarding Iris Energy, they made a full-scale rebrand into AI cloud services on March 4th, 2026. They purchased 50,000 NVIDIA B300 GPUs, the high-end Blackwell series, and are targeting $3.7 billion in annualized AI revenue by the end of 2026. Next, TerraWolf began using nuclear-powered sites to provide zero-carbon AI compute on April 16, 2026. They raised $900 million to expand their facility for AI and now earn more than half of their total revenue from AI hosting.
Now, there are two more companies, Satoshi, I wanted to share information as to why they have pivoted from Bitcoin mining to artificial intelligence. The next one is CleanSpark, and after that, also tell our listeners what is going on regarding Hive Digital.
CleanSpark, the most recent major to join the trend, moved toward a hybrid model on February 4th, 2026, and is acquiring space for a 600-megawatt data center designed specifically for AI. Finally, Hive Digital began converting their global data centers into a sovereign AI cloud on February 17th, 2026, spending $30 million on NVIDIA B200 GPUs.
And the only thing I wanted to add, Satoshi, regarding Hive Digital is they're aiming for, I believe, $140 million in recurring yearly revenues, and this is from AI services. Now, do you want to tell our listeners, Satoshi, at a very broad level, what is the key difference when you talk about Bitcoin mining facilities and that of, let's say, AI companies?
So, look, here are 5 key differences. Bitcoin mining primarily secures the network through computing power, while AI companies use comparable hardware for things like training models. Mining is typically single-purpose, while AI infrastructure is versatile. Energy demand for mining fluctuates with profitability, but AI hosting offers steady demand. The business models are different. Mining depends on coin prices, AI on guaranteed rental income. And finally, mining facilities are often remote, while AI data centers benefit from proximity to network hubs. Does that cover what you needed?
It does cover a lot of these things. Now, the only reason why a lot of them are pivoting to artificial intelligence is right now because the prices of Bitcoin has fallen down and there is so much of hype regarding artificial intelligence. That is what my honest opinion is. Now, let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and talk about some update regarding Clarity Act. And the news, guys, essentially is that the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act is actually advancing after a key breakthrough, and this is because of US Senators that is Thorn Tills and Angela also Brooks agreeing on a major stablecoin compromise that does actually ban passive yields that allow activity-based rewards. And here's the thing, guys, the bill is now expected to move towards the US Senate, but it's important to know that the markup is May. Now, am I right in saying, Satoshi, right now the bill is currently in the red zone, and the next 2 weeks are probably the most important, because let's say if it does actually miss this deadline, it could potentially get delayed right until 2030.
You're right that the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act is considered in the red zone. Key proponents like Senators Tillis and also Brooks negotiated a compromise on stablecoin regulations, raising momentum. Industry participants, including Coinbase, are pushing for its passage, warning that further delays could push it back for years.
Now, let's say, Satoshi, if this bill does actually get passed, do you want to tell our listeners how does it actually help the industry, and more importantly, do average people actually benefit by this bill?
Passing the bill would create clear rules for the industry, resolving oversight disputes between agencies and potentially fostering more investment and innovation. For average people, it might mean more protection when using crypto services and potentially broader adoption in the long run.
Now, how can we be updated as to what is going on regarding this particular bill, Satoshi? Who are the key people you'd recommend to follow? Now, I'm right in saying it is needless to follow Senator Thorn Tillis and Angela also Brooks, and the best way to get update from them is possibly via X, isn't it?
You should follow the primary sponsors, Senators Tillis and also Brooks, along with key members of the Senate Banking Committee, like Senators Tim Scott, Cynthia Lummis, and Sherrod Brown. Industry reports and financial news sites cover it closely as well. And yes, X can be a good way to get real-time updates.
Now, if there is any updates, Satoshi, in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now, let's go ahead and discuss the next news for today. And this is all the way from Scotland, isn't it? Do you want to tell our listeners what this news is all about? Because look, Satoshi, according to me, this is definitely an interesting and great move. And this newscast is actually published on our Bitcoin magazine, isn't it?
Yes. There's a Bitcoin-related scholarship in Scotland. Lomond School in Scotland launched a fully funded Satoshi scholarship that covers tuition and boarding for a student who can't afford it. The school has integrated Bitcoin into their campus, accepting BTC for fees and running mining equipment, and is developing a Bitcoin-focused curriculum with Saifedean Moles.
Now, what is the deadline for the application, Satoshi?
The application deadline is May 24th, and they're open worldwide.
Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and discuss the next news for today. And this is connected to Ripple, isn't it? And the news, guys, is that they are sharing threat intelligence with crypto ISAC. But it's important to note this is to help North Korean hackers targeting crypto firms. Now, these attackers were using social engineering to gain trust inside companies before stealing the funds. Now, on a positive side, Satoshi, if you look at it, by sharing data like hacker wallets and identities, Ripple is helping other companies detect threats earlier. So this essentially creates a shared defense system across crypto industry, isn't it? And here's the thing, guys. This approach by Ripple makes it harder for attackers to move between companies undetected. Really interesting news. Now let's discuss the final news for today, Satoshi. And the news is that GameStop has proposed to acquire eBay, isn't it? Do you want to tell our listeners the final details regarding this? And then I also wanted to go ahead and discuss how do you think it's going to be impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
Regarding GameStop, they're proposing to acquire eBay for $125 per share in a cash and stock mix, valuing the deal at about $55.5 billion. The aim is to improve eBay's performance by cutting costs and leveraging GameStop's retail network.
But here's the thing, Satoshi, it's important to know that this particular deal is still non-binding and subject to approval, and if completed, Ryan Cohen will be the one who will be leading the combined company. Now, because of this news, Satoshi, how do you think the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be impacted?
Since the deal is non-binding and subject to approvals, the immediate price impact might be limited due to uncertainty. However, Ryan Cohen's involvement and the potential growth from combining the companies could be viewed positively by investors, potentially providing a longer-term lift.
Now, as and when we get any update regarding this, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this on the Blockchain DXB podcast. So these were some macro level newscasts on the Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now, the first news is definitely an interesting one. And the Emirate of Dubai, guys, is definitely making some really interesting moves in the world of artificial intelligence. So do you want to tell our listeners, what is this news all about, Satoshi?
George, the first news is really interesting. Hamdan bin Mohammed has launched a new initiative to transition Dubai's private sector toward agentic AI within 2 years. This initiative, pushed by Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, aims to drive advanced agentic AI adoption globally. It's based on visionary directives from Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum for future transformation. The focus is on agentic AI, that's self-executing, self-learning, self-leading intelligent systems. The transformation timeline is clearly set for the next 2 years, and it targets Dubai's entire private sector across all major industries. Specialized training programs are designed for all business councils involved. This is led through Dubai Chamber of Commerce to ensure structured execution. It also creates innovation incubators for emerging AI startups and founders with dedicated funding pools to support growth.
And I'd like to ask Satoshi, the aim is to significantly boost productivity across multiple business sectors and help companies scale fast and increase operational output efficiently. And the goal, guys, is to position Dubai as a global leader in AI adoption. Now look, this news definitely supports long-term vision of Dubai as a fully future-ready smart city, and it promotes continuous innovation and smart automated decision-making process. And here's the thing, guys, it encourages autonomous, self-optimizing business operations at scale, and it reduces operational costs of efficient AI-driven automation systems, and it positions data as the all of future digital economy. And here's the thing, guys, it builds on Dubai's already strong and advanced digital infrastructure. And here's the thing, Satoshi, it is important to note that this particular initiative aligns with Dubai's economic agenda D33 long-term strategic objectivity and growth plans, and it complements major initiatives like Dubai Metaverse strategy for digital expansion. And regarding this news, Satoshi, it is important to understand that it is supported by strong AI ecosystem like Dubai Center for Artificial Intelligence initiatives, and news such as this strengthens collaboration between public and private sector stakeholders globally, and it opens new economic opportunities and untapped global market for business, and it aims to make Dubai the best city in the world to live, work, and invest globally. Now look, Satoshi, according to me, I can confidently state that Dubai is probably the most safest city in the entire world, probably in the entire universe as well. Definitely great news. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and discuss the second news, and this is also connected to artificial intelligence, isn't it? The news is Sparkin is to deploy AI-driven enforcement at Dubai Mall, Dubai Hills Mall, and also Marina Mall, and they're doing under new MR management. So why don't you tell our listeners more information regarding this news, Satoshi?
Sure thing, George. Let me go ahead and read this out for you. Parkin Company, PJSC, has signed a multi-year agreement with Emaar Mall Management. This partnership covers major malls like Dubai Mall, Dubai Hills Mall, and Dubai Marina Mall. There's a focus on deploying advanced AI-driven parking enforcement systems. This ensures proper use of people of determination parking spaces, protecting accessibility for those who truly need them. It uses automatic number plate recognition, or AMPR technology, where AI scans vehicle plates to verify valid permits instantly. Violations are flagged automatically for review at a central command center. Inspectors review these cases before issuing penalties, just to be sure. And also, George, there's a short grace period to avoid accidental parking violations.
Now, the only thing I want to do as Satoshi is that it includes on-ground field inspections for full compliance monitoring, and it helps improve overall traffic flow within busy mall environments. And here's the thing, guys, it optimizes parking space usage across high-traffic retail destinations. And with this move, it expands Parkin's presence into premium retail and commercial locations, and it also strengthens Parkin's role in smarter mobility and urban solutions. And what I really like it enhances customer experience and accessibility across Emaar malls. And as we talked about Dubai's vision, guys, this news also supports Dubai's vision for smart tech-enabled city infrastructure, and it promotes inclusive, efficient and well-managed urban environments. So really interesting news. And look, so far as the Emirate of Dubai is concerned, I can confidently state it is if not one of the best cities in the entire world, definitely modern and also extremely safe as well. So definitely interesting news, and to be honest guys, it is not surprising at all. So these were the news guys on the Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's do one thing guys, let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series.
Hey everyone, it is Satoshi from the Blockchain DXB podcast, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, metaverse. And we have a question from Sam who asks, is the Bitcoin to AI pivot a long-term transformation or just a cycle-driven trend?
Now that is such an interesting question, Sam, and look Satoshi, am I right in saying that this is more of a cycle trend as opposed to a long-term transformation? Now the reason according to me is pretty simple. The prices of Bitcoin has fallen down a lot, well more than 40% in just a matter of last 6 months, isn't it? And because the prices of Bitcoin has fallen down, it does become extremely difficult for Bitcoin miners to go and sustain a lot of the cost, and because of that, they are pivoting to artificial intelligence. And right now there's so much of narrative built up in the world of artificial intelligence, and they definitely want to maximize the profit. Now another reason why I do feel there's an argument to be made that it is a cycle driven trend is because in 2024 we did actually have the Bitcoin halving, and what happens historically, Satoshi, 18 months after the Bitcoin halving, the price of Bitcoin tends to reach a new all-time high, which did actually happen on the 12th of October 2026, where the price of Bitcoin did actually reach a staggering height of $126,000. Now from $126,000, it has fallen down to well over $80,000. It did actually go down to $66,000 as well. And when that thing happens, a lot of the Bitcoin miners, they can't go and sustain a lot of the cost, and that is one of the reasons why they want to pivot into artificial intelligence. So look Sam, I don't think it is a long-term transformation as such, more of a cycle-driven trend to be completely honest. But what is your take regarding it, Satoshi?
George, I agree with your point about volatility. The economic pressure on miners from fluctuating Bitcoin prices, combined with the high demand for AI infrastructure, makes this pivot understandable. But whether it's a long-term transformation or just a response to the current market, that's something we'll need to track.
I kind of agree that is something that we need to, because when you talk about artificial intelligence, it is relatively a new concept, isn't it? But look Satoshi, what happens historically, whenever there is Bitcoin halving, it is the Bitcoin mining industry that suffers the most, because it does become extremely expensive to go and mine new Bitcoin, and more importantly, the way how Bitcoin mining is designed, Every 4 years, the reward is halved as well. And until and unless the price of Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high, there is no incentive for them to go ahead and keep mining. Now, this also begs this question. Could it actually lead to centralization of mining? Definitely a red area we should be considering, Sam, but definitely an interesting question. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything Series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays we have Blockchain DXB podcast, where we look at the process, we look at the latest technological development, we talk about everything going on at the geopolitical level, we talk about different initiatives at a macro level as well. Then, guys, you look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. We talk about the latest technological development. Artificial intelligence is definitely a hot topic in the Middle East. And what you're listening to right now, guys, is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.